Good morning, guys. Hope you are well. Today, we're going to do a summary of what it's been like for me waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning over the past 30 days. I want to go over like the positives and the negatives, and do I recommend following this protocol for other people? But yeah, to start off with, I've been getting up. In fact, that is a slight lie. I've been getting up at 4:30 to 4:45 a.m. So before 5 a.m., and I actually keep bringing down the time earlier and earlier. I've been going to sleep at about 9 p.m., and it's been over 30 days I've been doing this. So it's currently 6:06 a.m. at the moment. I've already done a yoga routine. I've done like a mindset practice as well as sorting out my daily tracking. And it's 6 a.m. and I'm already recording a YouTube video. So I'll just break down the actual protocol. This is taken from like the 5 a.m. Club by Robin Sharma. I actually made a book review on this about a month ago, but I haven't released that video yet. So this is coming out in a bit of a strange order. Anyway, I'll just go over the protocol, but it's just worth noting, like I have actually adjusted the protocol that I'm doing slightly to more align with my needs and requirements and what works best for me, obviously. So the idea is you wake up at 5 a.m. straight away, you jump into a 20-minute workout and you want to start sweating. After that 20-minute workout, you follow like some type of mindset planning process. So what I do is I meditate for 10 minutes. I've actually got into meditation and yoga at the moment. Actually, I'm enjoying both of them quite a lot. I'll do a 10-minute meditation. The app that I use is called Brain FM, and they have like binaural beats as well for productivity. So I think it's about $5 or $6 per month, but I use this both for meditation and also when I am working. I have the app on here, and I will use some of their like focus music, and I really love this application. Actually, it's a really good tool. For $6 I get a lot of use out of it. It's called Brain FM. So yeah, I will do my meditation, and then I'll do like my daily planning, where I'll do a little version of the 5-minute journal but within the Notion system. And then for the last 20 minutes, you're meant to do some type of sort of education. So I was reading for about 20 minutes. And that is, sorry, you're supposed to read for 20 minutes. That is something that I've actually changed within my protocol that I'm following. I absolutely love reading, probably a little bit too much, which is why I've removed it, because I would go next door in like my living room. I would sit there reading like a Kindle, and I generally get like really into the book, and I would read for about an hour and a half. And these morning hours are some of your most productive periods of time, is where you have the most energy, like you're really feeling quite good. In the afternoon, I tend to, let's say I need a bit of energy boost, so we'll get onto that as well, but it's like the morning is like your core hours. So for me to spend 20 minutes on reading, I've adjusted that, although I do really like it. Perhaps reading just like a couple of pages on something related to a task that I'm working on that day can be quite good for sort of motivation. But I would go next door, I would start reading, and I would see like my energy levels come down, bearing in mind like I've just done a 20-minute workout and like the meditation session as well. So what I actually found works best for me is once I do the daily tracking and plan out my day, I'm quite motivated to like jump straight into work. I'll also do like a few of my little habits, like another sort of mindset, just like reading exercise, basically some notes, some things that I find like inspirational ways that I want to live my life by. I think I would actually share that for free as well. It's basically just a page of notes that I've taken down over the years of various different quotes, ideas, rules for life that I've documented over the years from reading various different books, various different videos, and so on. So that is how you're meant to structure your first 60 minutes. Then you actually are meant to do 90 minutes of working on the thing that is going to make you like a leader in your field. But let's just call it, that's how they describe it, but let's just call it 90 minutes working on the thing that is most important to you. 90 minutes of uninterrupted time on something that is really going to push you forward in your life. And I think that is like a really good way of working. So it should be quite self-explanatory now that YouTube is like a big priority for me. It's 6 o'clock in the morning, and my focus is to sort of generate YouTube videos. It's one of the things that is like most, yeah, it's one of the most important goals in my life at the moment, is to keep building up like my audience. So anyway, and then you should, like, the current protocol that I'm following is I'll do that, and then I will go to the gym at about 7:30 or 8 a.m. and I will just do like strength training workout. Basically, some days I will just do cardio, but I will like make a goal, not even a goal. I will adamantly never skip the gym, because once you skip the gym, you become like the person who just makes excuses. So I will go there, and generally I will do like strength. And then after that, I will go to the sauna or steam room. So we're at about 9 or 10 a.m. now. And that has also been like I really like that as well, except for on Tuesdays and Thursdays, where I will do like a 1 hour massage, sports massage, not a relaxation. In fact, it's the opposite of relaxing, but it's really quite good, and it gets like the blood flowing around your body, releases a lot of the muscles and tension in my upper back, because I spend a lot of time sitting down during the day when I'm working. So I'll do that twice per week. Then after that, we come back home. We're at about 11 a.m. now, and I will just do 90 minutes of working, what I would call like a focus session. Then I'll relax, do a little bit of reading. Second 90-minute focus session, relax again. And I've been playing around with some smoothies and things as well for generating energy. I will find I have quite a big drop off at like about 2 or 3 p.m. in the afternoon. So I'm still currently working on what is the best way for me to maintain my energy and focus for. And sorry, it's not to do with feeling tired. It's more to do with, after focusing very intensely on these tasks for 90 minutes at a time, I will start to feel like a little bit drained, basically. So I will go out and generally get some fresh air. Then at about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, I'll go for a walk for 1 hour. So we're actually doing about 3 workouts per day if we include like the yoga in the morning. I'll go out for a walk for 1 hour just to get like fresh air. Sometimes I will listen to an audiobook, and other times I will literally just let my mind wander. And some of the best ideas I have when I'm outside and just letting my mind, I didn't relax. And anyway, I was reading another book on this, and you're basically giving your mind the freedom to make connections that didn't exist before, which is why I generally find that I'm quite creative when I'm just like walking around outside in a park. So I just basically give myself some time to do that without any distractions. So I won't take out the phone at all. I won't even listen to music. I'm just walking around outside, and I've really found that to be quite a productive use of my time as well. And then by that time it's 6 o'clock. I'll come back home. I've been following, let's not call it carnivore diet, but eating grass-fed steaks. I've made a negotiation with a local butcher shop. It's all grass-fed meat, and they offer like really high quality, just everything that they have actually. So I've made quite a good negotiation with them, and so I'm eating like 1 steak per day with like blueberries and greens, so essentially lettuce or spinach, and that has also been really good as well. I've cleaned up my diet quite a lot, and also been drinking a lot of Huel, if anyone is familiar with them as a brand. I like Huel quite a lot. It's just so convenient, and the nutritional side of things is really, very good, but it's more the convenience for me that I can have a very nutritionally balanced meal in a couple of minutes. And also, like, financially, of course, it's going to be an aspect for a lot of people. It's very affordable to do. So it's potentially something worth looking into. Their protein shakes as well are probably like the best that I would always previously get like bloated from protein, and also feel very like lethargic after drinking a protein shake, and I wouldn't really like the protein shake unless you do it with milk. Whereas this Huel, I strongly recommend for anyone who's looking to increase protein intake or has like the effects that I just mentioned, like protein just doesn't agree with their stomach. It's vegan, and it's basically like a very clean, pure protein. It's a little bit expensive. I think I was paying like $50 or $70 for a tub of protein, not even a big one. But I completely feel that you should invest in very high quality ingredients when you're putting them inside your body. So I'm 100% happy with that investment, and the taste is really quite good, and you can do it with just water. Anyway, I've completely gone off topic. Let's get back on to waking up at 5 a.m. So positives of waking up at 5 a.m. in the morning. What have I found works? What is good for me? More focus time. And so what I mean by that is you just have more uninterrupted time, which is like the most valuable thing for me. So to be able to have uninterrupted time throughout your day, to focus on getting your tasks is really great. And I've actually been waking up earlier and earlier than 5 a.m. to buy myself more of this time. The next thing that I have really found to be quite good is your habits fall very easily in line. Once you get up at 5 a.m., but I don't actually find it that hard to get out of bed. Maybe the first few days, okay, it's like it's not really that difficult, but once you do it, you've started yourself on a productive day. Like you've made the decision that you are a person who gets up at 5 a.m. And then I just find that I very easily knock out all of my other habits because, yeah, they just fall very easily in line. I feel by getting up at 5 a.m., you build up a bit of momentum on making sure that you have a very productive day. And I find it much easier to complete all of my other habits. Then, and just to lead on to the next point then, because I found it so easy to continue with all my other habits, I've actually picked up 2 other habits which have very seamlessly been integrated into my daily workflow, which, as I mentioned, is yoga. I'll do a 20-minute morning yoga flow to wake up and energize the body. I'm just doing them free YouTube videos, which I've really found quite good. And then also like the meditation. These are 2 habits that I didn't have before. I would previously do some type of try to be a little bit mindful, but also I think meditation has a bit of a, maybe not so much these days, but it's got a bit of, I don't know, woo-woo, not quite religious thing around it. But people, for whatever reason, are a little bit pushed away by meditation. So I would call it more like a mindfulness practice. All I'm doing is reserving 10 minutes in my day where I will sit down and actively observe my thoughts and my breathing. It's nothing more than that, but it is really like bringing you into the moment. So I strongly recommend having that. If you do follow this 5 a.m. protocol, just set aside 10 minutes per day for this. And I've been doing this in the morning. I find I'm like fantastic. And then in the evening, I try to do it as well before bed, but I'm not quite so consistent. Another thing, just lesson to learn from this, is the reason that I think this protocol works quite well is because of your the time chunking process that is a part of this. So 5 to 5:20, I'm doing yoga. 5:20 to 5:40, meditation and daily planning. 5:40 to 6 a.m. should be on like reading and research. And so this is like a time chunking technique. And this generally just gives a lot of structure and makes it very easy to complete these tasks. Rather than having an unstructured day, it really makes it quite easy. So I'm currently exploring like 2 other protocols, which is implementing time chunking throughout my day on all of my other habits. Again, it's not perfected. I'm testing and working on this, but for sure I will share it if I manage to do this successfully. And then the other kind of mind hack, but not really, is I have my daily tasks and daily habits. And one of the biggest issues I often have is getting started with my habits or like my daily tasks. Once I've started doing it, it's almost effortless, but it's getting started with it that is where like the friction is. So I've been making like a negotiation with myself to spend 2 minutes, that I have to spend 2 minutes on each of my habits and each of my tasks for the day. Even if I don't complete them, I'm negotiating this with myself in my mind. I just have to get started. And if I can't dedicate 2 minutes per day to these tasks and on each of these tasks and things that are most important to me each day, what am I doing with my life? And I also know it's like the 2 sides of your brain battling against each other, because I know once I get started on it, I generally get very engrossed in the task at hand. So I won't just spend 2 minutes on it. But if I do, it's absolutely fine. As long as I get started, that is all that matters. So if you have trouble getting started with your tasks, make a little negotiation with yourself that you are going to dedicate 2 minutes to this. And then you see what happens. If you've had enough after 2 minutes, fine, come back to it another time. What generally happens, in fact, for me, what always happens is I will get into the task. And once I've started and built up the initial momentum of starting on the task, it's really very easy to do. And I will keep going maybe for however long is necessary for me to complete that task. So it's just a little motivation thing to help like remove friction from getting started with tasks if you have an offer and if you have an issue there. Now let's talk about the negatives of waking up at 5 a.m. The only negative that I have to put down here is lack of social time. Like I see a negative impact there. And that is only because like my day is so structured that I haven't got any time for social time, seeing friends and so on. I'm in bed by about 8:30, 9 o'clock, and you're just sacrificing your social life basically. On weekends, like maybe okay, you can go out on Saturday, but even then, like on weekends, I will be up at 5 a.m., if not 6, latest 6:30, just because it's going to make it harder for myself on Monday to get up. So I will generally stick to this process. There's been 1 or 2 days where I've got up a little bit later, 6:30, 7 o'clock, like I said, but I will generally try to follow this protocol on the weekend as well. And yeah, so for me, that's the only negative. But to be honest, I'm not a massively social, outgoing person anyway. So it's not a huge factor for me, to be honest. But yeah, it's just something to consider for other people. So let's finish up on this point. Do I suggest this protocol to people? Do I suggest people to wake up at 5 a.m.? In my opinion, if you need some more structure in your life, if you feel that you're falling behind on your projects, that you're overwhelmed with work, that you haven't got time to work on the things that you need to get done, that you haven't got the time of the day to prioritize the things that are most important for you, yes, I would suggest you to implement this protocol. And it doesn't have to be forever. I don't plan on doing this forever. Like in the summer months, I probably want to spend a bit more like social time, going out, going for drinks, traveling abroad, and doing things like that, having a little bit less structure, giving myself a bit more freedom. However, in the periods of my life where I want to really push out my projects and be very productive and work on the things that are most important to me, which for me is about 80% of the year. I love this. I really like developing myself and pushing my life forward. Then I would suggest it. You are giving yourself the time to focus on your projects and what is really important for you. So if you're feeling overwhelmed and what you're currently doing isn't working for you, you can try this process. The first day, maybe you're going to struggle a little bit to get up at 5 a.m., but it's really not that hard. After 2 or 3 days, it's really not that hard. I actually now wake up before my alarm goes off at 4:45 a.m. and I'm actually starting to wake up earlier and earlier, and I think I'll bring this up. I'll start getting up at about 4 a.m. One other positive to note as well, at least in my case, I generally found that late into the evening, couple of points actually. I used to think that I was very productive late at night, and that is why I would stay up. And I used to stay up working till about 4 a.m. and very often 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning. That is what I would do. I would get into my focus zone. At least I thought that I was. And then I would go to sleep and I would wake up at about 10 a.m. I'd feel very tired and lethargic until I would start to wake up in like the afternoon or evening. And it's not good. I don't recommend that as a protocol, but that is how I used to work when I was 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. Maybe I'm getting a bit older now and I can't quite get away with taxing my body in that way, but I don't actually believe I was that productive. I just felt that I was. There's a book that I've been reading at the moment on focus, and it talks about if you are tired, if you have been up for about 18 hours, it affects your focus just as much as if you were over the driving limit, as if you were starting to become drunk. So, and there's also another interesting fact. If you have like distractions, emails, phone notifications, all different things going off all the day, it actually drops your IQ by 10 points, which is, I know, pretty mind blowing actually. And like the reference that they gave in this book is if you were smoking a joint, it drops your IQ only by 5 points. So you would be better off working and smoking a joint than you are having your phone next to you in the office with distractions going off. Anyway, that was quite interesting. So generally, I find that by structuring my days so that my morning hours when I'm awake, I make a coffee, I feel energized in the morning now, much more compared to how I used to. So you can change that around. You may think that you're the type of person who's very productive late at night or in the evening. I personally believe it's just your body clock. That is what your body is accustomed to at the moment, and you can reprogram that. Now I find I get some of my best work done in the morning, although I'm not quite as creative. I'm very good at just getting my head down and focusing on a task. So I will generally try to do all of my planning and creative thinking in the afternoon/evening, so that in the morning I can see these are the tasks that I need to get done. This is what is most important to me. Headphones go on and I'm in the zone, and I'm working on knocking out tasks. So yeah, if like you're going to come to me with the excuse that you feel that you're only productive in the evening, I would argue it's just what your body is currently accustomed to, what your mind is currently accustomed to, and you can reprogram that. The other thing to note is that I always used to, there's a saying, I cannot remember where I heard this saying, but it was, don't stay up late for things that you wouldn't wake up early for. And I think that's really quite interesting. Generally in the evening, let's say after 7 or 8 p.m., you're not working on productive things. If you're working at all, you think, let me wind down, let me watch Netflix, let me watch a movie, let me relax, like I've worked hard for the day. Whereas the best form of relaxation that you can have is going to bed, getting a good night, good restful night of sleep. Watching Netflix thinking that you're relaxing is actually this. So it's a complete lie. The most valuable form of relaxation that you can have is by going to bed early, having a good night's sleep, allowing your mind to shut down and replenish and process your thoughts and the day. Really, you can compare this to like a computer, right? By turning off your computer, just allowing it to reset rather than running it, and it still has background processes running all the time. Let it shut down, let it reset. So yeah, allow your system to reboot. But what I would find is that if I'm staying up late, I'm generally not staying up late for things that are very productive for me or are pushing my life like forward. So just something to be aware of. By being in bed at 9 p.m. or 8:30 p.m., I generally find that there's almost no room in my day to do anything that isn't productive. I'm working throughout the whole day. And when I say working, it also means on personal tasks as well, habits, things for pushing my life forward, workouts and so on and things like this. But my whole day is structured around what is going to push my life for me to become the person that I want to be, to help me achieve my goals. My whole day is spent doing that. And then by 8-9 p.m., I'm in bed and I'm ready like the next day. There's not really any time for watching like Netflix or like YouTube or anything like that. And what I would find before is I would stay up late until, I don't know, 11 or 12, like watching some movie with a girl, like whatever, watching Netflix with a girl, doing just, they're not productive things that are really like pushing my life forward. So by shutting off a few hours early and waking up a few hours earlier, it really frees up my days to focus on the things that are most important for me. Yeah. If you do try out this protocol, if you're doing this protocol already, let me know your results. Or if you have some other changes that you've made throughout this, then let me know. This is also like the sort of direction that I'm looking at taking this, not solely taking this channel in actually, but just more on like sort of personal development, life optimization things. I'm definitely planning to push out more content around things like this. So there are so many books and things that you read that recommend that you do certain things, make changes in your life, follow their suggestions and so on. I'm doing a lot of reading every single day. So I'm noting down all of these suggestions, and the one that seemed most interesting, I'm going to be basically documenting in what I'm doing now, showing the positives, what changes did I see, what are the negatives, do I suggest you to do this? So another change that I've had is I've actually cleaned up my diet. So I think that I will probably make another video on that once I've allowed that to take over a little bit more. And the other change I've made is, I think I spoke about this before actually, is just completely cutting out like masturbation. And I know there's like some communities on Reddit where they talk about like the changes that they see, but I actually did a testosterone test. I measured my testosterone levels prior to doing this. So I'm just interested to see like what I've noticed, a lot of, let's say, like mental changes from this, but I'm also interested to actually check on a biological level what changes, if any, happen to my hormone levels. Anyway, that's for another video. So I'll do like a video on 30 days of no masturbation, documenting the results there. And in fact, I think that'll be coming out in the next few days. I'll have to work it out exactly. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for watching. As always, any questions? I've actually got a couple of big announcements as well that I'll do in another video. In fact, let's not put it at the end here. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. Any questions, as always, leave a comment and I'll happily get back to you. Thank you so much for watching.